All right, so thank you very much, everyone, for showing up to this live recording of the Corporate Discourse podcast. I really do appreciate your presence in the room. So, first of all, I'm going to cover the reason why I came up with this podcast. Uh, the main reason why it's actually an idea that just came to me. It's not something that I really wanted to do. I just wanted to have an opportunity to talk to my younger self, because most of these young ladies, when you just join the corporate, there's so much that goes on with you. You do not know what to do. You do not know uh, what you're supposed to do, basically, because what you have is information from school, what you've been taught based on the HR handbook, and what you've heard people say. But then you get to now experience the real thing. And I understand most of us here are just getting started in their careers. So you do not know what you're supposed to do in the corporate space, and there's no one there to teach you because you see what is in the employee's handbook, and that's all. So part of the reason why I had this podcast is to talk to people about how you're supposed to carry yourself in the corporate space. Because one thing I've learned over time is that the court of life is not fair. There are moments where you do things and you assume that's how you are, but then you do not know the implications. And part of the reason why I have this podcast is to tell you how some of your actions implicate you, or how they're viewed by other people, or how they position you. Because sometimes there's a characteristic about you, there's something about you, and you assume you're okay, that is you, and you choose to be that person everywhere. Let's say you're not a morning person, you choose to not be a morning person everywhere. You just yourself. But in the process, people brand you as someone who is, you have an attitude. I don't want to use the bad word. I don't want to say you're a bitch. But people interacted with you in the office in the morning hours, they automatically assume that you're a bad person, you're aggressive, or you're moody. And that's how you're branded in that workspace going forward. Another thing that we've interacted with in the workplace is if you're someone who's vocal, you see things happening in the workplace and you choose to be vocal about them and talk about them. Sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, but sometimes you come off as someone who's trying to, change the status quo. And sometimes that's not the space to change the status quo because it's someone else's, vision, and they know how it's supposed to be done. And whatever it is that you say might land you in the wrong side of the law, the court of life. Yeah, so today I'm joined by a panel of 4 women. First, we'll have the first person, the first panelist. And I'm glad to have my boss as my first panelist on this podcast. And it is really liberating to have a boss who, is willing to do this with you. Because in most spaces, it's not something that would be easily accepted. But in this space, I realize it's something that we've cultivated. It's part of the culture. And we are allowed to, do whatever we want to do outside of the workplace. And so it's my pleasure today to welcome Miss Dorcas Owinoh. Or we can do the acting invitation. We can do a recap of that. So go back. You have to go back. You have to go back so that I do it well. All right. So I feel like I'm not going to do it like the way my brother did it. But then just hold on. I want to try. We have to practice our acting. She's traveled to New York. We started. That's a normal thing. Okay. She's a real sense, though, not acting. She's one of the top 40 under 40, and she's been nominated so many times. She's a woman I admire. She's a woman whose leadership is different from the kind of leadership I've seen women experience in the workplace. She's different. She's a breath of fresh air. And that is the one thing I admire about her. Naisi kuji, you know what? I'm not trying to gas her up. That is the truth. She's a breath of fresh air compared to the women I've seen in other spaces. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Dorcas Owinoh. Has anyone fainted? They should. All right. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation to this podcast. It's not something I take lightly. It's something I greatly appreciate.
Thank you. So, Lydia, I've never heard you say very good things about me.
It's because right. Yeah, but I have so much good things to say about you. So I'm just going to give you a minute to just introduce yourself again, the way you'd love to be, known, if there's something I missed.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dorcas Owinoh. I am a resident of Kisumu, born and bred in Kisumu. Grew up in Kisumu. My background is in technology. I have been in technology almost my entire adult life. I am also the co-founder and executive director of Lakehub. And yeah, I am a sister, a friend, and everything in between. Boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's good to know that. So I'm just going to jump right in. There's that part that you said you're the founder and co-founder of Lakehub. And part of the questions I get asked most of the time is if you're a startup founder, you just founded your startup, how do you know who's the right person to have as your co-founder? Like, how do you choose? Or how are you chosen to be a co-founder?
So this I, I'll try to. So first of all, we used to get co-founders based on vibes. To be very honest, and I'm sure most of you, I see there's so many young people. You see who you vibe with a lot, and you go with your vibes, eh? And then after a while, you realize the vibes are not vibing anymore because now reality has hit. So like many, not even young people, but like many people, the first thing that we used to, if you're selecting co-founders, you'll select someone who you vibe with, someone who is in the same space as you are. And most of the times, these relationships don't work like that because you realize that running a company is different from just vibing. It's it's one of the most difficult things you will do. And so with that, again, vibes will not be enough. So you quickly learn that you want someone who is in alignment with you. And so I guess the question here is, how do you know the person who you are aligned with? Eh?
Yeah.
I think when you get to, sometimes, I mean, in the journey of life, you get to interact and work with so many different people, and you get to know who you have, who you see, the person who you see life, not life, but who have almost the same work ethic as, which is very important. You also get to see someone who you disagree with healthily. Because one thing about building whatever, anything, is that there'll be a lot of disagreements. It's easy when it's a yes, it's hard when it's a no.
It's a no.
So whose yes, whose no will be as important to you as their yes. So that if we decide to work together, the moment you don't agree with me, I don't feel like you're out to jeopardize me, but your no is so important that I want to know why you tell me no about something. So I think it's also important for us to be able to sit down with, to be comfortable with being told no, or our ideas not being taken in. One thing that I came to learn in this journey, and I was taught by one of my co-founders, I've had different co-founders, is that even in the no, sometimes the no, let's say I'm the one saying no. We are working together and I tell you no, it's something that you're very passionate about. It's something that you want to implement. But we agree to disagree. So I agree that we can't see eye to eye on that. So you're saying yes, I'm saying no.
No, yeah.
But you're telling me, Dorcas, in this one, trust me. Please just give me a chance and trust me. It's very important that once I've decided to say yes, that is, we are working together with that yes. If things fall apart, it's not the time for me to come and rub it in your face and tell you, Lydia, I told you no.
I told you so.
Yes. So there are two folds, maybe so many folds to this. But the first part is be comfortable being told no, and also choose someone whose no is very important, as important as a yes. But also at the point where your co-founder is telling you to trust me on this, and you choose to trust them on that. If it happens to fall apart, that it's not the time to come and say, I told you so.
I told you so.
And also at that, when you say yes, when you agree to go with that, you carry the entire burden. And not just, you carry the vision. So say I am your co-founder and you tell me you want to do a live podcast recording. And I'm like, no, Lydia, we're not ready for a live podcast recording. But you're like, Dorcas, I have done my research. I believe that this is going to take
Something
us.
we should do, yeah.
Yes. when I come in, I need to be able to carry that vision till the end. Not with things in the back of my head thinking, oh, she's gonna fail. This is gonna be a big, mess up. I am carrying it till the end. We are planning and we are planning till the end. So that is something that I really learned, and it's very important, I think, when you're looking for a co-founder. I hope that helps.
So I understand that one thing that stands out is trust. Trusting someone so much that when they say no, it's not from a bad place.
No, it's not from a bad place.
You just assume
Yes.
it's from a good place.
Yes.
Now, another follow-up question to that. You said you've had so many co-founders before. So what was that red flag that you assumed from those? Because you're not with them anymore at this point. What is that red flag that you assumed earlier on, but then after a couple of years or months, you realized this person should not have been a co-founder with me?
So one particular one that I think I ignored, or which I ignored, that really cost me, and it's costed me so much, is that there are people who are also, one quote that I really like that stood out for me is that sometimes your light also attracts moths instead of butterflies. So you'll be happy, you'll be shining, and you're attracting butterflies and everyone is happy for you, but at the same time you're also attracting moths. So when you're trying to start something, you're founding something, and in this case you've attracted moths. In this, the person is more attracted to the limelight than the grind, and the grind is the most important bit. So they're attracted to, or how much money are you gonna raise? What's your status gonna change in the society? The kind of respect that you're going to receive, but not the work that goes in. And so many times, it's also lately. I mean, it's something that we say all the time, but lately, it's something that I keep going back to. Is that time always tells the truth? So with time, you will realize that forming a startup and whatever you're founding is not about it's not all about the glitz and glam. There's a lot of work that needs to be done for the glitz and glams to be. Yeah. And if you are attracted to the glitz and glams, you will definitely just fall off with time. You'll just fall. It's just that as a founder, it costs you so much because you thought you had your person working with you, and then suddenly you're alone. Yes.
Okay. Does that also apply for? I've realized over time you've had like solid teams, like your teams, the people you have, the functional roles. You have people who are really solid and they believe in the vision. Even sometimes, I think the first few months I met you, I was a bit in doubt. Then I realized your teams are consistently solid. Like everyone is really rooting for you or for the vision of the company. And I think I fell right in. So is there something specific you look at when you're hiring someone? Like if someone is coming in as, say, a communications lead, is there something specific that you look at in someone and realize this person belongs here? Or is it a coincidence?
My instincts. But seriously, what really, for me, one thing I like, so there's alignment, which I think it's one of the most important things to do when you're doing whatever you're doing. If you're doing something with somebody, you need to be aligned. But it's also very hard for you to know who you're aligned with when you're just talking. One thing that I've always looked for myself, it's just, I don't know, it works for me, is I like people who have other things going on. I like people who, you either have other things going on, you have to be ambitious beyond
the role.
Being a communications lead, being a finance manager. You have to have other things that you're very passionate about. Because I really like to talk to people about their passions, what they're doing on the side. And the thing about doing things on the side is also you understand the hustle for me. So you understand you'll get to understand when we're hustling together, because when you're part of the team now, you're part of us. So when you'll be hustling together, you understand the hustle, because you've also
Hustled on your own.
or you're hustling on your own. So that, for me, I've always liked when you come to me and tell me, oh, by the way, I'm doing this, I'm running this. It could be like I'm running a shop, or I'm doing this project that I really love. I like it. I like talking to people about what they're doing on the side, because I just enjoy that you have other things. I also like people who have, I would say, a sense of selfishness. So if you come to, say, Lakehub, there's something about Lakehub that maybe you want to change, or you want to use it as a stepping stone.
As a stepping stone. Yeah.
And I don't mind that, to be honest. I like that you're there and you have something vested that is personally just you. Yes, you're helping me fulfill my dreams and other people's dreams, but there where you are is a stepping stone for the next level of your life. So if every time I have such people in my team, people who are ambitious, like they're doing other things, and also have other, they're doing other things, but also have like some selfishness in them, I really like it. I'll give an example of one guy that works for us, the guy that takes care of security place. I hope this is not, but I'll just say it. I when I learned that he's in school for film, I was very impressed by that, because I would think that this is not it for them. If I have you as say communications, because we use that example, and this is it for you, I think that's dangerous. I think that's dangerous. You have to have
actually that is something really unique with you, because most spaces managers feel really threatened when you have something else going on. Actually, it's the reason why as soon as someone gets into a workplace, you're normally advised to block all your board, so they don't know what else you have on the side. So that is something that is really admirable, and I really do need to motivate someone to work on it. But then I have a question: do you ever worry about, say, the example you gave of the second person at your farm? Do you ever worry about them taking time off work just to do, the filming or the driving course or whatever it is that they do on the side? How do you balance that?
I think I'm not worried about. So you were talking about them not prioritizing the work.
Yeah, assuming they're supposed to be working, say, 12 hours. But now, because of the filming course,
8 hours.
say 8 hours, okay? But then now, since they have this school that they have to go to, they take time out of that to go and concentrate in school. Does it bother you?
It doesn't, but it's not a thing about bothering me or not. I think the thing I've realized is that if you're ambitious, you make time for other. Like, you make sure that you make sure that your time works for you. So you know that the job you hold is very important, but your other ambitions are also very important. So from my experience, I've not had an experience where someone slacks off at work because they have other
Something
things going on the side. I've always seen people balance it so well. And I've not felt threatened by it. Also, I just encourage people to tell me what they're doing on the side, and I openly talk to people about what they're doing on the side. But I also feel like sometimes with this, when bosses are scared of this, in my own thinking, I think it also is really stemmed on control. Because I think most human beings want control. And one thing you have to also realize that control is not commitment. Just because I can control you and let you be in this space,
doesn't mean I'm committed.
You're not
to whatever.
committed. Yes. Also, I think that human beings are very. We are whole. We are multifaceted. You're not just a finance manager. You're different
other things.
And if someone lets you be other things, I feel like you even stay longer at Lakehub, because this is a space that allows you to be other things apart from a finance manager. It's applauded that you're other things other than just Lydiah the finance manager, Lydiah the podcaster, Lydiah.
So I just wanted to do a follow-up on that question. So is it something that you actively encourage your teams to pursue other things, pursue other aspects of life other than, the one role that they're there for? Do you actively encourage them to do so?
It's something that I look for when I'm interviewing.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
what other
okay,
things are you
okay,
doing?
okay.
Is this kufika kwako? Like I said, like when I'm selecting team members, the times I've had problems with team members is just team members who think this is mwisho wa dunia, but I cannot be your mwisho wa dunia. You have to have other things going on for you. That's just
So
my
is it for
leadership.
you? Is it a red flag if someone comes in, they're looking for a role in your company, and that is the only thing they're looking for? They're really desperate to get a job, maybe as an accountant. That's what they, Is it really a red flag, or it's something you
I
can
wouldn't
give a
say it's a
chance?
red flag. I wouldn't say it's a red flag. I'd say it's a plus if you're passionate about other things.
But not having other things is not a
It's not a red. It's not
disqualification.
a yeah because there are people who then are still on the path of trying to find other things, but then they
Okay.
come in and like, oh, actually, I want to do this
Okay,
outside.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had a question about, because I know you've worked in international spaces, you've worked with companies outside of Kenya, actually more than locally.
Yeah.
Is there something in international workspaces that you think Kenyan employers need to adapt, something that they could, do to change Kenyan workspaces?
Okay. Oh, I think I think at the core of it, human beings are just human beings, and we are very similar. You go to the US, you go to Europe. Human beings are just human beings. But what I'll say is that generally, I've seen. I don't know if this applies to employers only, but I think in Western countries, failure is seen as data and not as something that will be held against you. So from the side of a co-founder or someone who started, when you do something, when they're starting, they look at it as it's big, and even if you fail, like you'll use it as a stepping stone, or you use it to train other people, or you use it to be, say, even an opinion leader on that topic because you've done it. You've done your podcast, you've seen what works and what doesn't
What
work.
does not work?
And so I think that gives you some kind of a safety net. Even as you're working, you're not afraid of it. You go very boldly because that will just be part of the data that they'll collect. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, sort of, you're saying in international workspaces, people are given the allowance to make mistakes.
Yeah, but I'm not even looking at it from a point of so employer and employee. I'm looking at it from a point of building.
Generally.
Building whatever you're building. There's always that, and I think it's not being given space. I think it's also very ingrained in them that this whatever I'm doing, someone else will use it to get to the next level. Yes, and for that, I think they're able to also just dream very boldly. Yeah.
So, is there something an employer in Kenya can do to encourage their teams to build boldly? Like, is there something?
Yeah, I'm really not for. I think when you're working with people and you get competent people in your team, is try not to micromanage. Let them lead with confidence. Whatever department, whatever section they're leading, give them a chance to lead with confidence and go with it. I know mistakes can also be costly to companies, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that you allow people
mistakes.
to experiment, but I think what I'm saying is allow people to work, to do what brought them there in your company. I'm not sure I've answered your question.
You have actually. Just a follow up to that question again. Do you ever feel like you have to shrink yourself when you go to international spaces or global spaces? Do you feel like maybe the Kenyan way of doing things might be inferior over whatever else happens outside there?
So this is in line with things like imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Especially as a woman.
That's very important. So there's always the feeling of when you get to spaces and you get people, you feel like there's so many people that are more qualified than you are. There's always that feeling. And it works with you, I think, almost in every room. But one thing I keep telling myself, so in this case, you're asking if I'm like when I'm away,
outside of
international
Kenya.
spaces. It's that one thing I've learned is that a Muzungu will not give you a chance, a black woman a chance just because, like I like saying, for vibes. They're not gonna spend money on you just because you're a woman from Kisumu. So the moment I'm invited to these big spaces, it's because there's something I have and there's something that they've seen.
What is it? Tell us.
I don't know what it is.
Give us hints. What do you think makes you different from all the other black women from Kisumu who go
I
to
don't
these
think
Mzungu
that's
spaces?
so. Before I answer what makes me different, so one, I feel like when the imposter syndrome creeps in, which it does, is that when you're invited to those spaces, they're not doing you wajakuonea huruma.
Yeah.
It's not out of pity.
Pity.
They have not pitied you. There's no white man or even woman that is gonna give you a chance because they
Out of pity.
out of pity, because a lot is at stake for them. Not even a white man, I'm a white woman. Think about you right now with your podcast. You will not take a risk and put someone here out of pity.
No. I'd rather not have it.
You'd rather not have it. So every time you are in a space and you start thinking like, oh, I'm scared, these other people are qualified, just remember, these people cannot bring you there because of pity. It's such a big risk for them. That risk, I mean, you put them at risk of losing everything.
There's so much at stake for them.
There's so much at risk. So they're not going to invite you there for pity. That's, for me, it's something that I keep reminding myself. And also, the moment you get scared or you don't want to do something because you have imposter syndrome or you think you're not capable, you're also putting the person who's nominated you or who's invited you, you're sort of minimizing their ability. Is it their ability or
Credibility.
Their credibility? Because they are experts in those fields. And if I say, Lorna, I want you here to present or to talk about this, it's because I am an expert in that space and I know that Lorna will be able to deliver. So the moment you say, mimi siwezi, then you're insulting my
intelligence.
Yes. Insulting my intelligence. So yeah, there's that. And so as for what makes me different, I think we were talking about this yesterday over lunch, and to be honest, I don't think that I am different. Like such that I stand out and I'm different. Maybe I stand out, but there's hard work. You have to put in hard work. You have to be prepared, but most of it is also luck. To be very honest, I think this is a controversial statement that I'm making, but I always believe that in this world, there are so many people who are doing the same thing as I am doing. Yes. There are so many people who have podcasts. There are so many people who are learning how to do software development. It's not because they are less than. It's just that some people are lucky enough to be in spaces where they have been seen. Or lucky enough to interact with somebody who's
willing to hold their hand.
It's not like you're doing so you're not doing anything less, or the other one is not doing too much. Maybe they're really prepared, but most of it is always luck. That's how I think about it, because I think there are better managers, there are better software developers, there are better women in Kisumu. I even told you there's a point where I'm being nominated for this award so many times. I'm like, no, I don't need to be nominated so many times for this award. There are other women who are also yes. It's just that sometimes you're not known. So just make sure you put yourself in situations where you're known.
If just off your head,
yeah,
like what are few spaces where a younger woman who's trying to get started right now, where can they put themselves to get people who can hold
younger woman, younger man? Anyone?
Younger woman or younger man? I'm talking about a woman because you're a
because
woman.
I am. I think one of the things that we do, that I used to do a lot, and see most people are in tech here, is you're very fascinated, or not even people in tech, just technical people. You're very fascinated about what you're doing. You think that in your house or in this small space that you're in, people will know about it.
Will see it.
People will not see it. So you have to start talking about the work that you're doing. I also know that culturally, the way we are in Africa, talking about yourself so much is seen as tooting your own horn,
Bragging.
So bragging. So I think we need to be comfortable to talk about what we are doing, what we are working on, the things that we are passionate about. Talking to different people about that. That's actually just talking about it. It can be verbally, it can be in written format, it can be in video. Just make sure that other people apart from yourself and your mother know about what you're doing. Don't hide your light. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Just an interlude. If you have any questions, just prepare them as we answer the last few questions. So then we'll have a break where you get to ask the questions. So just to continue about what we were talking about, if someone wants to be mentored by you, what do they need to do? Let's say there's someone out there who admires, they admire what you do, and they do not know what they're supposed to do. What do they do? Because I know messaging you on LinkedIn will not cut it.
It might cut it.
Really?
Yes. So this is what I tell people. It's very odd for someone to come to me and say, Dorcas, I want you to mentor me. Most of the time it will not work. Think about it. If someone comes to you and says, Lydiah, I really admire what you're doing. Please mentor me. It's not going to work. It's even forming friendships. That's not how you go about it.
About forming friendships.
Yes. So I think mentorship is more about relationships than going to somebody and telling them you want to do this. The way I go about it myself, I think I have very, very few mentors. But the way I got to be mentored by them was actually just, you have to be a fan of their work. And a fan of their work is not like on the side. They have to sort of know that you're a fan of their work. And it's not, and you really honestly and authentically have to be a fan of their work.
Whatever they. What if they're just a young person they just did their software engineering?
No. So I'm talking to somebody who's looking for. So someone wants me to mentor.
They want mentorship, and they have nothing going on.
No. So if say Lorna wants you, Lorna, can I use this? If Lorna wants you to mentor her,
yes,
Lorna has to be honestly and in a very authentic form be a fan of your work.
What I'm doing. Okay.
Yes, that's like one step. They need to know Lydiah. What does Lydiah stand for? What does Lydiah do? And all that. So that when you meet Lydiah and you're talking to Lydiah, because for you to want Lydiah to be your mentor, there are things that Lydiah does that you really are inspired. Yeah, you admire and you're inspired by. So by the time you're meeting Lydiah or whatever, you bump into Lydiah, or Lydiah is going to be in a networking session. When you talk to Lydiah, you're talking to Lydiah about their work. People like talking about the work they do. People like talking about the things that they're doing. And so that's, you're just trying to be in spaces where Lydiah can recognize you. And in that point, as you're talking, you reference to Lydiah's work, things that Lydiah is doing, while also asking questions about how you can do those things. So that's how you start building relationships like that. And you're always also, when you see that there's a rapport, you can always reach out to them, not necessarily to ask. Someone once told me that if you want to borrow a wheelbarrow from a friend, from a neighbor, you don't start by borrowing wheelbarrows. You start by doing smaller things that by the time you're borrowing that, you've built a relationship. So once you've admired, you've talked to Lydiah knows you, then you can always, reach out to her when you see the work they've done. Say, oh, Lydiah, you've done this, you've done this. And once in a while, you can ask, oh, Lydiah, can I have this thing that I don't know? I like the advice you gave me the first time we met. There's this thing that I'm still struggling with. Can I steal 1 minute of your time and talk to you about this? And it's slowly building that relationship. It's different from when someone just approaches you and tells you,
can I be your mentor?
Most of the times when people have told me that, it never amounts to anything because I don't know what to do. You're giving me the work of trying to figure out how to help you. How to I don't know you that well. You know me more. So
in the event that someone comes to you, like right now, we already know you're a founder. If someone just walks up to you, or you've seen them in spaces here and there, then they're like, Dorcas, I've seen what you've done with Lakehub and even Zone 01. I also have a small startup here. I've done ABCD to this far. You do not have much relationship at that point. and they outline exactly what they
Yeah,
want.
that's easy because that's a conversation. That's not me, someone coming to. That's just us having a conversation.
So sometimes
which is healthy. Yeah.
them outlining what they want
Yes.
from you. Really.
This is what I'm doing. This is what, and I want to borrow from what you've done in this case. What do you think? That's how I would go about it.
All right.
That's how I've gone about it. So.
Okay.
Lakini msiniulize man.
Prepare the questions. The hard questions. Don't be scared.
Usingoje kila
So
mtu.
now I'm moving on to this is our final question. About power plays. There's so much that goes on. People say that the real place where you create networks is outside of the office. Yeah. Where you have to attend the weekend events, the after work hours, you have to go whatever party there is for the office or whatever people are meeting somewhere.
Yeah.
So is it really true that is where networks are built? And then what happens if someone is not able to go to these, these after work
It's really,
parties?
really true. And it's it's the unfortunate truth that even for me, building whatever we're building here in Zone 01, there are partners that I want there, but I have to do more than just sending proposal and sending whatever. So in the workplace, the places you're working, you're already like very incredible. And so if you're locked up in your office and you're just doing the work, unfortunately, that's not enough nowadays. Also in the day and age where AI is almost replacing human beings, then you're just another robot.
Yeah.
But you're breathing. The difference is that you breathe, but you're in your office and you'll do the work in your office. I think people still yearn for human connection. When people talk to you and see your personality and see what you're passionate about and even how you're passionate about your work, then I think that's where promotions also happen, because then guys you're able to show your bosses, or the people that are important to you, in this case the work setup, how what you're on about, way much more than your title. The other parts of you get to shine. And so if you're out for, let's say, office parties or even office dinners, you get to talk about everything else, and you build relationships. And relationship building is so important. And we talk about networking a lot, but you don't know that you need to network even with your colleagues and with your bosses,
even with your peers.
Your peers, yes. So that's the point where you get to network, you get to talk about, you get to bond over families. You find that your boss has maybe kids the same age as yours. You talk about that. And when you talk to somebody and you connect on a human level, it sticks. It sticks, and you're no longer just the person who provides, financial statements and what we need to do. You're Lydia, who's a mother, and the daughter did what, the daughter is passionate about something else. You also, have a different passion, and it sticks. So personality is very, very important. And even the time with your peers, that is also how you get to see who you can have as a co-founder, because you get to see their personalities in different forms. That is not just work.
Just to add on to that, does it then mean that people were introverted, or people don't like, after work parties or social gatherings? Are they doomed? Like, what can they do to, get to build relationships?
I also don't. Yes, I don't. No, they're not doomed, because I don't think that showing your personality can only happen in office social parties or
actually, just to add on to this, when I was young in my career, I used to hate the way people do the "Hi, how was your weekend?" Like so much on. It's so annoying.
Unfortunately, you have to do this.
So do I have to do it?
Yes. Unfortunately, when you're still making it, if you're still hustling, that's part of the hustle. So you have to do the "Hi, how's your day? How's your cat? What is your?" You have to do it. You have to do it. I still have to do it. I mean, not exactly that, but you have to do the other things that you don't like doing. Well, you just can't come and say, "This is how I am," and and you want the world to fall into how you are. So I was saying something before you cut. I was saying that you're introverted, and just because you're introverted doesn't mean that now you're doomed, you can always find. I like the way in our offices people play
Yeah, the
board
games.
games, the card games, because when you're playing the card games, I think most introverted people also really like
They
playing the
do
board
enjoy
games.
that.
When you're playing the board games, then you get to talk and have a quick chat. It can be, walking down the parking lot, and at the parking lot you meet somebody and you talk over lunch, like something very chilled. The kitchen area talk. It doesn't have to be out during office hours, after hours, and all that, because there are people who are not comfortable with that. But then when you go back to having to do the highs, how your car, how you doing,
I'm
and
doing
yes, and all that, you have to do it. You have to. Yes, there's a event that I attended and I really, really wanted to talk with this person, but they spent a whole, given that I'm a Christian, uh, a whole, I think, 30 minutes talking to me about how I don't think I'm about to say, but they talked to me about.
Just tell us. We'll cut it. Now that we are here, just tell us.
Talking to me about something that I just had to listen to something that I really don't stand for. But they were so excited about it. And they went on and on and on about it, and very excited. And I had to listen. That is part of the game. The game is the game.
And now, just a follow up again.
Yeah.
Let's say you're someone who does not like the social gatherings. How does your manager or your bosses take it when you constantly say, this weekend I can't make it because of the kids. Next weekend I can't make it because I have a.
No, you cannot do that.
If you constantly do that, how does it position you?
You can't. You cannot do that.
He's one of the people who do that.
No, but I wasn't targeting you, Daryl. You can't. You have to make a technical appearance. That's why there's something called the technical appearance.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to show up. They have to see that you see that you've shown up. You have to say hi to people. You have to be excited about it. Kiddo. I'm telling you, the world is just about performance. I think we deny that all we want, but that's the reality. You go to a place. I say you put on your big pants, big girl pants on, and perform. And after you're done, you say end scene, and you proceed. But ukienda to mimi niende New York, I say mimi spendi hizo, even the foods I can't even eat. Sijui, I can't even do this. Then why are you here? It's all about, that's the truth. It's all about performance, and you perform in every you perform. You need to know your threshold of your performance. The threshold of your performance. This is I'm done now. I'll do it up to this, then I go. But as a young person, you cannot say that's not. You cannot be missing things and saying, this I can't do. This I'm not doing.
So basically, you have to learn how to perform.
You have to learn how to
whatever
perform.
It takes.
That's the. And on top of that, there's something that I want to add on. As you're networking and growing, and we talking about your work, there's something that we miss out on is sometimes you work, especially we don't have that in our office, fortunately. When you work in offices that are so big that if you don't talk about your work, no one will see. No one will see. You have to talk about your work. You have to talk about the things that you've done. And when you're in your meetings, you have to list all the things that you did and how they're changing the the office, the company. And you have to state, I did this, I did this, I did this. And because of this has happened. Don't be quiet about the work that you're doing. Because also imagine we are just 10 in our office, but I'm not able, if you don't tell me, I might not be able to know what you've been doing. Maybe I'll just think you're a slacker and you're not. So if you don't categorically talk about your work, then people will not know what you do. You can't blame people for not knowing.
So basically, being competent is okay, but then visibility is equally as important.
It's very, very important. Yeah, visibility, and that's where the visibility also comes in when you're networking.
When you're networking,
yes. When you're networking, yes, I get to network right now. I network a lot in fundraising spaces.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about the work we do until the cows come home. I mean, we can do the work here until but if we don't talk about them, no one will know. So I have to go to those places and do the highs, and this is what we are doing, and we've done this, and this is so amazing because of X and Y and Z. So it's not just. I think it's different levels of it.
Do you ever do you ever become a victim when you realize someone is being performative to you, especially say at the point where you're handling promotions or hiring, and then you notice someone is really performing, they're really good politically, but then when it comes to competence or doing the actual work, they're not as good. If you notice that, what do you normally do? Like, what would you do if you realize someone is a good performer?
There's a very sweet spot. So performance for me does not mean it's not fake. I don't know if it's not fake. It's just doing. The reason why I'm calling it performance in this, maybe that's not the right choice of word.
Strategic.
But you're also you're trying to, because you asked, how do you do the things you don't like doing? And I said, put on your big girl pants on and do it, and just do it. So yes, you have done all these things. You hate talking about your work.
Yes.
So that's what it's your work you're talking about. It's not, you're not stealing someone's work. You coming to talk about you just hate talking about it. So that's the performance. Like, talk about it, because the performance is talk about it. I'm not saying that you come and lie that this is what I'm doing or whatever. You'll be, oh, hi Dorcas, you know what, I'm currently learning. I've done this website, I've done this system. You have really done it.
So there's no point of lying. If you've not learned that language, don't talk about it.
Don't lie, because that is
just talk about the things you've actually done.
That will just leave a bad taste in someone's mouth. Just don't lie. The performance is get to do what you don't like doing. That will elevate you to the next. I hope I'm making sense.
You make sense to me. Now, a final question.
Lydiah told me 3 finals.
Like, there's so much. I have so many questions and they keep coming up. Now the final one. If you were to talk to your 23-year-old self, like your younger self right now, what have you learned about power and influence over these years that you'd tell to her to shorten, the learning curve?
I really loved my 23-year-old self. I was bold and delusional. So, and because I was bold and delusional, I got to do so much that I think is repaying me now because of that boldness and delusion. But I think right now, reality many hit sana that my delusion has
reduced,
tempered down. Yes, I think my 23-year-old self was very bold. I was bold enough to quit school, to start a startup, to relocate to different towns, because I just believed that the things I was doing were working. What is that thing? Maybe I would just say, don't quit school.
Don't quit.
Yeah, just stay in school. I know it's like, but just stay in school. I think that's one thing that I did. That.
Why is that so? If you were able to be this successful without...
Because I still had to go back and do
at some point.
So I did, people who know, I tell people that was around the time when Mark Zuckerberg and all these tech startups were coming up and they were quitting school. What I didn't know is that they quit Ivy League, not a university, Harvard. Not a local university in Kenya. So there's a big difference. So I think I would just say, don't quit school. But the other thing is that one thing, and this I say I used to, because I'm in a very male-dominated field, I used to think that the men really know what they're doing more than the ladies. Yes, they used to show up with so much audacity. And I used to imagine that they know a lot. But they were just very confident.
Like Nigerians.
Yes, but I was just dealing with Kenyan men. And so my peers that were men would, talk about, there was a time we were all incubated in an accelerator program, in an incubation program. And people had, I think we were only like 2 or 3 ladies, and people had different companies. And the way they used to talk about them, back and I said, this one looks like they're going to get millions.
They're very serious.
They were not even doing things. But I was I just remember being so very intimidated by them. That was just in me, something that I needed to work on. I feel like if I had a bit, with the delusion that I had, Ningeongeza tu
audacity.
ningeongeza tu audacity kidogo.
You'd be so fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also something that I think I would tell myself is that even in the delusion and the thing, that space of delusion and boldness is be bold, so bold that you, when you're thinking about your ideas and things you want to implement, that's I just learned last year. Think about them in grand. Don't be afraid to think
big.
Think big. I know they say that all the time, but that was made very clear to me. I think it's just this year that if you look, civilization was not created in scarcity. You cannot think small and disrupt. You have to think big
to disrupt.
If you look at things like the pyramids, if you look at things like even the Rome Colosseum, like things, they are
big,
grand,
yes.
they are big, and they've now even superseded us. And the only reason why we get to think in scarcity is because we lead with fear. You think this is you're fearful that this is so big, but then when you think when you're grand, when you're thinking that big, you also acknowledge or you realize this is not just your vision. You will just take it to another level, and someone else will take
pick it
like
up.
I'm not it's not I don't have to be the one that builds the civilization to the end. If, for instance, it's Zone 01, if my thinking is grand and it's beyond Kenya and it's big, maybe my part will just be in Kisumu. Someone else will take it to the next level, and someone else will come in and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So I would say right now, if I knew that then I would
think
be
bigger.
yes. And also when you're thinking like that, then you get to bring people on board, and you're not holding on to this dream like it's just
It's yours.
It's
personal.
It's personal. Nikikufa na kufa nayo. Just I've done my part. The next person will take it to the next level.
That's a great parting shot. Now we'll be taking the questions, after which we'll have the refreshments. Now, where's the mic? Anyone with a question? You guys don't want to ask her because everything we say here ends here, so don't worry about her. Any questions? You have the microphone.
Yeah, I can see Tom Lee has a question.
There's a
So my question is, in terms of
I'll take three.
three questions.
It's a total of 3 questions.
Yeah.
Three motherfuckers.
You want to take 3 and okay.
You tell me.
Okay, let's see how many questions we
okay.
have. You can go to Blake.
in terms of startup, whenever you are like you put it thinking big, dreaming big, you find yourself at times the dream that you're dreaming is big, that you still feel like there are things that you need and you're working towards those things, then eventually you end up procrastinating, then eventually you start like losing focus and more and being morale to do whatever you want to do. So what technique or what things did you do to like keep yourself focused on the big dream?
We'll take a second question. Brian.
Okay, thank you. My question is, how do you handle a situation where your ideas are constantly ignored, but later adopted when presented by someone else?
Oh,
That's an interesting question. Okay, Paul.
So my question is, I know you've been in Lakehub for a while. So what made you not give up? If you look if you go back in the days, I'm sure there are days in which you wanted to give up, you wanted to do something, things are not working. Because right now we just look at the space that we have. I think we take that for granted.
Yes.
But going back, things are said, that's it. How did you know we would reach here?
I'll answer the first.
Answer the 3 questions, then we
Yes,
proceed to the
yes.
rest of the questions.
So, I'll answer Tom Lee and then Paul, because I feel like those are, I can answer them together. So when your dream is so big that sometimes you lose focus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you not lose focus when you do? I see it's important to have others help you dream in that dream. If it's that grand, you need other people to help you hold it. And that's why I even say that it's not up to you to don't think about yourself as the only person who has to deliver the dream. It's a community thing. So you recruit other people, share this with people that are in alignment with you, so that by the times when you're feeling low, someone else can carry it to the next level. I think what happens is that as human beings, we want to hold on to it. In yangu to peke yako. But if you have the dream is big and other people will help you carry it, it's a burden. It's so big and you want people to help you to deliver it, and you can't do it by yourself. And if it's so big, then you can't just have you cannot just be the only player in that dream. Tell me, you have to have other people. And that ties to what Paul has asked. And that's why even for me, Lakehub, it wasn't just me. Yes, James Odede, if you know it, started it and recruited me along the way and recruited other people. So when James is away, I'm holding it. When I'm away, James is doing it, or someone else is doing it. For the last couple of years, James has not been here. People who know that. And because he wanted to do other things. It's not disintegrated and fallen apart. I am, I'm carrying it to the next level. The next time when I'm not ready, someone else will come in and continue with it. So it helps when your dream is so big. It helps to have people be part of it. You just need to know who
is the right person.
Yeah, who's the right person, because you don't want to attract moths as well in the dream.
Actually, just to add on to that, that's why we started by asking you, how do you identify your team?
Yeah.
How do you get the right team for a dream?
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't have to go solo. You have to find people, who align with that dream and have them with you to help you push the dream.
Yeah.
And then again, I have another thought on that. Sometimes if you keep falling off from a dream, it's not the right thing. Maybe you don't want it bad enough. If you actually want something, you'll do whatever it takes to make it work.
Utapumzika tu kidogo alafu utarudi. And it's good to take a break.
Yes, you can take a break and continue another time.
And then Bernard asked a very interesting question. When someone keeps stealing your ideas and presenting them as theirs,
they keep ignoring your input
and then present it as theirs
at a future date.
I say call it out.
The first time it happens, yeah?
Yes, every time it happens, call it out. Just say, if it's me, just say, Dorcas, but I just presented this. This thing we just talked about. Why? And you said no. Just call it out. And just call it out very directly. Don't go through the corners.
And professionally, actually.
Yeah, just call it out.
What normally happens, there are people who, instead of facing it head on, let's say you told me something and I ignored it and then later used it as my own.
Yeah.
Instead of coming directly to me, you go to Dorcas and say, oh, I told Lydia this and this and this happened. No. That's unprofessional. What you need to do is to nip it as soon as it happens. Just call it out.
Where there and there, actually.
We talked about this, but then this is happening. As long as you're professional about it, there's nothing that can happen to you. But then it makes someone feel like, you have your boundaries and you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, call it out. That's what I say.
All right. We take the next set of 3 questions. I'll go with the woman first.
There's a lady.
Then Alan. Then.
Can you give the lady a chance?
Sorry?
Fana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hello again. My question is, I don't know if you've experienced this. So, for example, you started something, you have co-founders, and then along your journey, you see that the focus of your co-founders is actually deviating a bit from the vision that you guys had when you started. And then you kind of feel like you learn to cut the move. Or you like, how do you, like when you say whatever now they are trying to do with your goals is not really what you set out to achieve. Yeah, and then the second question is, for example, I'm looking for co-founders, And then the people who I see have the same vision as me don't actually have the right technical the right technical competence to do the job. But the people who have the same technical competence to do the job don't have the same passion for what I am trying to do. So how can I get that?
Okay, fine. My question is, maybe you have that idea and then you start doing like research on it, and then there's so many risks that come with it. You really want to do it, but the risks, how do you navigate that?
The risks of doing it. Clarify the question. Like you want to do something, but then you see risks.
Yes.
Do you want to answer that? Everything has risks. So for you to pursue something, you have to be willing to take the risks. Yeah?
I can answer. I'll answer.
You can.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Allah.
Okay, so hi, my name is Alan Robinson. So first is to commend you, and I do really look up to you. I could tell you as a successful person working within this space. And my question is, what really drives you? What's the energy behind this? Because within this path, I know it's not easy. You wake up every day, and what's the energy that pushes you every day to keep on and on without dropping?
Okay, I'll answer the first two that's talked about when you deviate from the focus. When the people you started with are deviating from the focus. If they want to pursue other things, it's okay. I remember with Lakehub, we registered with, I think, almost 7 people. Seven, yeah. Over the course of, trying to stabilize, we had like 7 people that's a total that I can think of. So it's fine. And I don't think that's like even grounds for making enemies. It's just okay. People have different interests. There are things that I've started that I was very passionate about, and then my focus changed. That's just life. And it's not all the time you'll be passionate about the same thing for even 10 years. Yes. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. But you need to handle it with grace. And like, okay, this is not what you're doing anymore. It's fine. Just make sure that it's important to finish well. We talk about starting, but finishing well is very important, because I think almost everybody that we started with that did other things for us, we are still in very good contact with. And
and actually, just to add on to that, the guys who left, but then later on they want to, in the event that they want to come back
as co-founders,
or bringing in some input.
Yeah, we actually encourage it. We say, oh, wait, enda tu uko nje, ukipata nini ukuje utuonyeshe. It's no, there's no bad blood. There's no bad blood of It's just that your focus change, and that's okay. Hatuwezi kukuweka hapa ati, oh, you started with us. Finish with us. It can't. Okay. And then also talent, you have to mix and match. You can't. I mean, it's very hard. It's also such a. You can't hold people to that standard. If you say the vision bearer, sio kila mtu lazima kwe kwa hiyo standard yako. Have people with the technical abilities, have people with passion, non-technical, mix and match. They'll all, so then they can all complement each other. Then there's risk. So the thing about it is also, as women, we really look at the risk. We research. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. We start looking at, ikifanyika, what will happen. Itaenda hivi. You will learn from it. That's what I tell people. Like the risk, and I think I've told Lydia this before. Like I say it all the time. Imagine if I take this big risk and I do it and I do it and I do it and I push it, and then I fail. It will be the most epic failure. But I'll fail doing this thing that I'm really passionate about, that I consider very big. That for me, I'll just think of myself, I can be an opinion leader in this. Naweza kukuja nikwambie, like I'll be able to advise. I can even write books about this. I say that all the time. I can write books about this. This failure, I don't think about them as, like success. Because when you're looking at a risk, you're looking at how it's going to fail, it's risk. But I just think about it as, imagine the story I will have. So that is what drives me. But I also think about the risk. Like we are very calculative as women. We take very calculative risk, but let that not stop you. Think about it. It's some sort of an ego boost. Think about it. Maybe if it helps, that you will be an opinion leader on it.
On this business that
on this in this nini. You feel doing it big, so you know
it's okay.
And then what drives me? I think it changes, but at the core of it is impact. I think that's just who I am. I am very passionate about my work being able to impact other people apart from me. It's a bit of an ego thing as well, but sometimes ego is not all that bad. I just like that. All these people were influenced by the effort that we gathered all this thing and it happened and people were. That really drives me. But also, on a serious note, is that sometimes what drives me is that I have so many people's lives in my hand that drive your fear. That I can't afford to let other people down. Yes. So that also drives me. But the fact that I'm also very grateful to God that ever since I started doing whatever I'm doing now, it's 12 years ago, every year I've seen growth and I've seen hakuna yenye sija grow. So even when it's really, really, really tough, I'm just like, I can't wait to see the kind of growth that. Do you mean that next time will be another growth and I'll make another step? Evo. That for me has really driven. He's a really big driver, especially when things are really tough. I'm now like, you know what? Things will work out. Eventually. God will make a way, and there's that has always happened. So I can testify it's always happened.
Wow. Any other questions?
Last round, eh?
Last round of questions.
There's the three.
The three, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. I have two questions actually. The first one will be, as you attract the butterflies and the moths, how do you how do you deal with the moths, the sabotagers, and those kinds of people? And also, in playing the game, like, how do you, is it okay to just show up at those events and socializing, networking, and just be there to be seen? Or do you have to talk and do all that?
My name is Lorna, and I have a question. When you're building something, and sometimes you're so set in your ways, and you're adamant about achieving this thing in a particular way, maybe you said how. So my question is, how do you know at what point if things are not working to pivot? At what point exactly do you pivot? And maybe if you have an example of a situation or a scenario that you had where you had to pivot, how did you go about it? What was the exact?
Hello, Dorcas in India. My name is Brian Bantu. So, Dorcas, one of the key points you talked about today is visibility. So, assuming you're someone who is working in a space where you are mostly not in a position to present your work. Maybe you have a supervisor, or maybe you have a project manager if you're working in a team. So how do you remain visible if your work is not being presented by the supervisor or the project manager well, without without turning out like someone who is insubordinate? Insubordinate. Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, Dorcas. My question is just simple. What's that one advice you give to yourself, to your 20-year-old self? That one advice you'd love to give.
I already did it.
That was about power, but now this is general advice. I think he's asking a general advice, yeah?
Yeah, good. Maybe it's for progress.
Okay, so I'll answer this 3.
Okay.
What was the first? Okay,
The first question was Jesse.
Jesse asked about.
Come again, Jesse.
Sorry, just say it. Huh?
How do you deal with the moths?
Oh yeah, deal with the mods. Yes. Oh yeah, I have it here. How do you deal with the mods?
Mhm.
Hey, how do you deal with the mods? I think with time, when you realize someone's intentions are not good, I think one of the things we need to learn is calling people out and calling people in. There's calling people out and in. Calling people out, just stopping it there and there on the tracks. And this is not necessarily being confrontational, but I think one thing that happens a lot is mtu anakufanyia kitu mbaya, but you don't want to
let it slide.
You let it slide. You say, no, I'm okay, mwache tu. This person's intentions were, even if you feel like you realize that they came in the guise of trying to help you, then wanatoka. You need to talk about it. Say why did you do this? Why did you pretend like you wanted to help me, or we wanted us to work together, but that's not okay. That wasn't the thing. And the thing about also calling people in is there are times that maybe you thought wrong. I mean, you might have been wrong in how you assess the situation. So have a safe space where you can talk and say, Jesse, I want to talk to you about this, and I want to believe that this, because we've worked together, or we're working together, I want to believe that this is a safe space for me to speak very openly. This and whatever happened, and I'm not okay with it. The thing I'm saying is, when there are mods, there are people that they don't have very good intentions. Let's get to the practice of saying it, speaking up. Let's just make it our nini.
Let it be known.
Yes, but I'm not also encouraging people to be combative and confrontational. Yes, that's why I'm saying sometimes you can.
I have a question, a follow up to that. What if the other person does not get to the safe space to talk to you? Like, you raise it. I didn't like the way you did this and this, and now you're doing this with our startup. I don't like it. And then they're like, no, that's not what I did. They're not cooperating in your safe space. What would you tell them? This is a colleague or a co-founder.
So those are two different things. This is someone who's
riding on.
This is the first person was someone whose intentions were not good
from the get-go.
And that is what you want to call out, exactly what they did. You are talking about someone you're still inactive.
In the moment where you call it out, they're not cooperative. Yeah.
But also the calling out is also more for you than for them. Yes. It's just that you want to clear the air. Like, don't think that I didn't see your intention. It's just so that you know, by the way, I know what you were doing and I don't like it.
So then it also eliminates ghosting, because I think my to go to is ghosting. Like, the moment someone is a moth,
he's ghosting,
and them off, and
so you just
happening.
People will know you as someone who will just talk about it. Call it out. Do you have to talk when you're in those spaces? Or you just show up and keep quiet? No, it's you have to find some people to talk about, or be part of people's stories and listening. Like in networking events, people are in cocoons. You can sit there and listen. As an introvert myself, I really struggle with networking events because the performance also really drains me. Yeah, I get really exhausted and I can't. But you have to. You cannot come in and go out, because there are people who thought I am a snob. I am just introverted and shy. I'm trying to come out of. I've been forced to come out of my shell. But at the core of it, I would rather not. I would rather. for me, I think it's just yesterday that I said I accepted to do the
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 podcast.
podcast. I would rather not be in front of a camera to do whatever. You wouldn't believe it because maybe you've seen me in a knee, but I would rather not do it.
Do it, yeah.
But I have to do it. Yes. So when you're, I think at this stage for me, it can be a bit forgiven because as people get to know me, they're like, oh, we know Dorcas's work. But when you're trying to get people to get to know your work, you have to
do it.
Yeah.
And also, just to add on to networking, I think the way I view it myself is it's more about building relationships than actually networking.
Yes.
If you go into a place where there are hundreds of people, there's at least one or two people whom you can settle down with and tell them your not so interesting stories, and you'll get a way of bonding with that. So you don't have to always be in everyone's faces when you go to social gatherings.
Yeah. And then, Lorna, you asked about how to pivot. I always pivot, not just in tech, not just in companies, even in my life.
Even in life,
in life, there are things you think ulichukua hii barabara, but you're like, wacha nipige kona kidogo, let me adjust it. Even when you're cooking, you pivot. You're like, this is what I thought. So it's okay. I think you shouldn't when you're starting something, when you're in the beginning, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to pivot, really.
I think
go ahead.
I think she asked, when do you know it's the right time to pivot? Yeah. Yeah. How do you know now it's time to move from this to that?
When you're hitting the wall, when you're not making progress, and you know it's not because it's time to give up. Before you give up, you want to do something. You want to try something else. Like, this thing is not working out. But maybe come on, Lorna, I really believe in it.
Yeah.
Let me try this other way of doing it. Yeah. Let me do this other way. See, let me do it this other way. That's how you know when to pivot. How to pivot. An example of my entire life has just been pivoting. Everything. Even Zone 01, we've pivoted so many times. You did FemiDevs, eh?
Yeah.
FemiDevs was 6 months. We've pivoted to 2 years because we realized that, 6. It's not because programming is not needed. It's needed. But then you're like, oh no, 6 months is not enough for somebody to really get the skills that they want. Let's pivot it to 2 years. And also just getting random people to come in and learn software development is not working for us. Let's make the selection a bit different. That's just in work. That's an example that I can think of here. But I'm always pivoting. And I encourage people to pivot. Pivot all the time. Don't, if I could say, give up. Just think of different ways of doing it. And then there's, you said there are times, you asked what, in a situation where your supervisor is not talking about your work. I think I say that in meetings, when you're in meetings and you're given a chance to talk, advocate for yourself. I think that's something that we don't do as often. And I strongly believe it's how culturally it's considered inappropriate.
Bragging.
Yeah, you're bragging. That's why we don't advocate for yourself. Yes, but get into the habit of advocating for yourself. Talk about the work you've done. And I think the thing about the thing about this is learning. If you know that you're working with bosses whose egos are very fragile, in the sense that they'll get offended
when you
or they'll feel what's the word, insubordinated. Find a way of just talking about it in a way that like, oh, by the way, you see the work that we did. I managed to do this and this on top of what you had shown me. You sort of also give him credit. You know what? On top of what you did, I went ahead and did this and this and this, and this is how it turned out. Because that's what it sucks, but that's the reality.
It's the reality. And then just to add on to that, you see, in a space where your immediate supervisor does not, talk more about what you do, you can use that like the interaction opportunities with other people. Let them know what you're working on.
Yes.
It gets to a certain point where everyone else knows what Bantu works on.
Yes.
So even if the supervisor, the immediate supervisor, is not vouching for you, there's always someone else who will see what you're
who
doing.
knows
Even
about your
amongst your
work.
peers,
That's
let
very
them
good.
know you're
Yeah.
good at this thing. One way or another, it will get to someone else who matters. That bad habit is there. There's always someone who is insecure. So you
Yeah,
cannot
in every
walk on
space.
eggshells because of that. Find a way around it.
After maybe there's so many people I think of myself as very unproblematic. Maybe I am very problematic. Anyway, yeah, there's that. So I think the biggest is just find where places of advocating for yourself. Ukiongea, two peers. Lydia said it so well. I don't even need to repeat. General advice to my 20-year-old self. That's the question, right?
Yeah.
I think every time I think of my 20-year-old self, I really love my 20-year-old self.
You want to take advice from them?
I really like my 20 years. To be honest, I really like myself like 10 years ago. I was very bold. I think I've lost the boldness of the what is it called? The what of the youth. It's the illusion where you have the time, everything is possible. I was writing business plans, I had a book of ideas. I think if anything, that my 20-year-old self would advise
Should
me
advise
now.
you
Should
now.
advise me now and say, get off your ass. I got to dream so boldly in my 20s that I think the dreams that I had in my 20s are those are the dreams that are driving me now.
You're reaping now.
And the thing about it also is, I used to talk about very bold things to my friends, and I used to look so delusional, even in school. If you ask my friends and I'm glad that I did, because they'll meet me and tell me, because you used to tell us these things. You used to tell us that, you know what, I will be going to these countries, I'll be doing this. I want to do this because I want to make sure that by this time I'm pitching here. I'm driving this car. I used to be very bold. See, I think about the time I thought, this idea is so good. Who should listen to it? Michael Joseph. Not Michael Joseph, the Bob Collymore. And I got to pitch this thing to Bob Collymore. I did. Because I don't know. I call it delusion, but I was so delusional. But right now, I'm not like that. I am a dreamer, but I'm very
cautious.
Yeah, cautious. I'm like, life beats you. And so it's the reverse. I would tell my 20-year-old self would tell me, you are disappointing me right now. So yeah, that's it.
All right. I think that winds up our first session. We're going to take a break for refreshments and then get back in 15 minutes. We have another set of 2 panelists, and there's so much to cover still. So yeah, take a break, stretch your legs.